Greetings! Today, we will be discussing the story I proposed to the Pope. Your support is greatly appreciated, so please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. The man utters, "Now." The priest asks the groom to take the bride's hand to step through life together. The groom exclaims in shock, "Wait," and then adds that he is against it and wants to break this engagement. People in the crowd discuss. One man wonders why anyone would oppose the marriage, and another says that the young countess was going to elope, but the bride seems to have changed her mind. One of them has heard rumors about a noble. An older man asks indignantly what is going on. The inscription reads, "Victor Allison, age 61, father of the current king." Payne Allison, addressing his father, declares that he cannot marry his fiancée because he wants to choose his own fate. Whatever the consequences, he will take the fall. The father angrily tells his son that he is dishonoring him and his family and asks his daughter Helene to stop her brother. Helene with a fan says to the man, "Father, don't." She notices that something is going wrong and is surprised at what is happening. She doesn't understand why she should stop him, after all she hasn't seen the whole farce yet. She with her long hair surrounded by fire says that eternal life requires sacrifice, but no one can escape fate. That fire brought her back to the day Payne Allison announced the dissolution of her marriage to the Duchess. The princess asks the man if he can give her a specific reason why he wants to break the engagement. They hear him out. The caption informs them, Ellen Allison, age 21, Princess of the Empire. Ellen reproaches herself for her past life of giving up her status as a legitimate heiress to protect her beloved brother. She recalls that she had to go through many trials for the sake of immortality, but she still remembers the grudges she held in the past. The heroine recalls how her heart, full of love, was broken by betrayal. She declares that she will not tolerate any more pain. She is determined to reclaim her power and glory. Payne regretfully tells his sister that he has nothing to say for himself. He only loves Fanny, but it is dangerous for him to drag her into this showdown. She remembers that his position does not protect him from the consequences of his actions, and warns that many are unhappy with his rule, for then he neglected his duties as crown prince. She knows he fell under the spell of that girl. Then Ellen takes the blame. Ellen thinks his view of life is wrong and that her own death will come before his. She claims that she is going to see how he handles the situation that day. She asks him why he is breaking his vows in public, since he agreed to this marriage, and what will happen to Lady Brown now and how she will remarry afterward. The bride asks him to give her a reason or she will no longer be able to keep her promise. The caption reads, Nancy, 18 years old, bride. Nancy yells that she needs an explanation, and the man notices that her words don't make sense and she is annoyed. The heroine tells the man that even though she has removed everything that was keeping them from moving forward, he needs to prepare himself for the fact that it will soon be over. She then asks if he has a lover, because she needs to know what the problem is in order to help. She has been on his side since childhood. Ellen remembers that viper is out there. She remembers exactly that girl hiding among the crowd and watching the whole farce. Ellen won't let Fanny get away with it, let her try to cause a disturbance in the imperial family. The man expresses doubt, saying that this is not an easy situation. He realizes that he can't go back to his old life, and has heard that his fate has long been sealed, as well as his wedding. The people began to whisper that this must be the heroine that the crown prince had brought. They didn't understand how she dared to compete with Lady Brown for a man. Fanny was very surprised. She didn't understand whether people were sick in the head or not. The girl was a time traveler. Fanny reflected that not long ago she was starring in a Western romance play. She became Fanny, the heroine of the play, a slave girl who developed an empire through her ingenuity. Payne, the hero of the play, rescued her at an auction and fell in love at first sight. He is gentle with Fanny, a typical gentleman. But here she doesn't like him because Payne is not the protagonist of the story. The crowd notices that something is going wrong, and one of them says that the play is getting more and more interesting. The temple will decide if the marriage is valid or not. Someone in the crowd comments that the emperor isn't going to stop and this could end badly. Papa Lando is the main character in this play. Lando addresses His Highness and explains that his marriage to Duchess Brown has been witnessed by the Lord of Light and is not to be dissolved. The young girl happily announces that she has come to Payne's engagement ceremony to meet the man of her life, Lando. She thought he was the most handsome man she had ever met. Helene notices with annoyance that the situation is becoming more and more complicated, because the most problematic person has appeared. The heroine reflects on the fact that her life has changed too much. She notices that those around her only see her as a figure and not a person. During all the chaos in her past life, her headache was not only that girl, but also Papa Lando, who abetted the struggle between the theocracy and the imperial family. The struggle between divine and imperial power never ceases. Ellen turned to His Holiness and explained that she understood since His Highness had not completed the last step of the ceremony with Lady Brown. She asked that this is not a breach of the marriage contract, is it? The Browns are the leaders of the royalists, and in her past life they got the nobles to oppose her becoming empress for fear that Ellen would take Payne's place. In this life, she cannot allow Payne to be supported by the royalists again. This engagement must be broken off so that she can capitalize on it. Papa Lando went to Princess Ellen and explained that the marriage contract is sacred and playing with the gods will send a curse that will bring misfortune to His Highness. He knows that she loves her brother more than anyone, so he is sure that she cannot bear to hear this. Payne turned to his sister, grabbing her by her clothes. Ellen informs him not to worry, for she will support him. She had gone back in time, which meant that all of Payne's plans for her were doomed. The girl decided that she would make his life a living hell, but for now she needed leverage to become an empress. She didn't realize if this Lando wanted to make trouble for her. If that was the case, then it would be mutual. Ellen turned to His Holiness and asked if he remembered her proposing to him in front of the temple on her 3rd birthday. He had promised to marry her when she grew up. Shouldn't he keep his promise? Lando thinks back to their childhood when they were very young. He was 7 years old and she was 3, and they were discussing what they would become when they grew up. He wishes her a happy birthday and asks her if she has any wish that he can fulfill. The little girl replies that she wants to marry him and asked if she could. The little boy replies that when she grows up then she can. Ellen asked if he regrets it, since he agreed to her proposal in the presence of a god. Payne sharply protested and explained that she shouldn't do it because of him. He thought she was sacrificing her happiness to save him. Payne believed that Ellen was truly the best person in the world. Fanny didn't understand how that heroine, Ellen, dared. She didn't understand why that heroine wanted her man since Lando was the main character and her true lover. The crowd of people discussed that it was unbelievable as the princess made a public marriage proposal. They didn't realize if she would be rejected, a childish joke can't be a vow. That's right, not unless he says yes to her. If Lando turns her down, she can break Payne in Fanny's engagement. Ellen is content to have everything under her control. She laughs and enjoys her plan. Lando replies that he accepts her marriage proposal. Ellen and Fanny exclaim in shock that this is impossible. The heroine is perplexed, for this is not what she wanted. Lando has gone too far for control of the imperial throne. Fanny, on the other hand, does not understand why the man so easily agrees to the wedding. After all, she is the main heroine of this world. The girl asks everyone to wait, as she has something to say. The heroine asks the girl who she is and how dare she barge into the conversation between the princess and Papa Lando. The man replies that he did not expect such a development. He notices that the girl's actions seem suspicious to him, as she is dressed as a noblewoman. The lady asks who would want to listen to such a rude girl. Payne turns to Fane and cannot believe that she has come to meet him and whether she is ready to accept him. Ellen, on the other hand, thought that it looked like she didn't need to do anything anymore since someone was already worried. The princess asks my lady who she is. The girl introduces herself and says her name is Fane. She reveals that she is an old friend of His Highness. The heroine asks the man in surprise why she has never heard of his friend named Fane. Payne thoughtfully pronounces that Ellen is a. Ellen decides to stop what is happening by asking Payne that this is the girl he likes. Fane starts to deny that it's not her, as Lando shouldn't think that she has such a relationship with Payne. The girl decided that she had to explain everything to him and not let him marry that shameless princess. Fanny said that she was very grateful to His Highness for her rescue, so she stepped forward to wish the Crown Prince and Duchess Brown well. She hoped that His Highness would understand her. The man quietly says Fane's name. He reflects that perhaps he shouldn't have trusted his feelings from the beginning and recognized his love. An old man speaks words related to the coronation, stating that this ceremony will mark a new stage in the history of the empire. According to ancient law, the temple was to be the guardian of the state, and the Pope had the right to inherit the throne if the crown fell. For years, the temple had been eyeing the throne. The man, reflecting on his feelings, recognizes that he will never be able to convey them fully, but it is his duty to keep fighting for the future. The man asks the woman to accept his offer and embark on their new journey together. He assures her that their union will bring happiness to both of them. The man promises that he will protect her from all dangers, even if he has to confront the whole world to do so. He hopes that the heroine will agree to be his wife. The heroine wonders if the man is really going to marry her. Her thoughts are filled with doubt. The heroine is outraged at what is happening and claims that this is a wedding she did not want. Lady Brown asks the other girl if she realizes what is happening now and why she is letting it happen. The heroine replies that it is not that simple, as this is just part of an elaborate plan. She feels that the situation is getting out of control. The heroine reflects that she did not expect this turn of events, as Fane does not know nobleman etiquette. People in the crowd discuss what is happening and wonder why the main role in the event is played by a girl who was unknown until recently. The heroine says that life is unfair. People are divided into classes and some of them will forever remain at the bottom. She accuses another character of tricking people into submission, which makes them unfair and hypocritical. A man says the woman's name quietly. A man from the crowd shouts that it is all a lie, and points out that the heroine cannot be presented as an equal, as it is absolutely impossible. A group of people argue that heroine is merely a slave, and nothing will change her position now. Payne firmly tells his father that he does not agree with the marriage. He warns that if this continues, he will be forced to stop the ceremony. The man declares that he cannot marry because he does not love his bride. He apologizes as he was unable to stop the betrothal earlier. The heroine notices that the situation has already gone too far and wonders how the man can continue to hesitate. She says that she will not let this marriage take place no matter what. Another person points out to the man that time is up and the wedding will go ahead as planned, or else they will lose face in front of everyone. The heroine screams that she doesn't agree with what is happening. She accuses the other girl of acting unfairly. She claims that she has not seen a greater injustice than this situation and she is going to put an end to it. The heroine asks Lando's dad to back out of the wedding, saying that her feelings for him are genuine and asks him to consider her love. The man sarcastically remarks that she claims she no longer loves the princess, as if this is something unbelievable. Fane asks in surprise what's going on. The heroine says she has a bad feeling about it. The man asks the king to listen to him. He explains that the princess has not expressed any consent to the wedding, and insists that today's ceremony should not be between the bride and the sea princess. The king asks if they are really going to marry the sea princess off. The man confirms that they are. A man supports a woman who faints and worries what has happened to her. The heroine sarcastically suggests that the king think again before calling off the wedding, adding that they can't just stop her. The heroine inwardly warns herself that if she loses control of the situation, she will forfeit all her efforts. She thinks that now is her only chance to make things right. Fane wonders in amazement if she is the person her interlocutor is talking about. She doesn't understand what is being asked of her. The man points out that he had pre-planned the wedding with Fane, as it was his idea all along. Fane drops to the floor. The man says that all that's needed is confirmation from the king, and then the wedding can begin. The heroine gets up and leaves, saying that the situation is getting out of hand. She promises that she won't let the wedding take place. The man admits that he can't let the woman do what she wants. He apologizes to Fane and says he has to forcibly take her away. The heroine is sure that one day she can change the world, whatever it may be. She remembers that it is her duty to bring justice. The man goes on to say that from now on, heroine will be his wife. He kisses her hand and asks her to support him in the future. Helene asks herself what she should do now that everything has been decided. The man insists that he takes responsibility for her from now on. He informs her that her situation will change forever. The man apologizes to Ellen, explaining that he could not leave her unprotected, and promises that he will do his best to protect her from her enemies. The heroine wonders if she will be able to adjust to her new life and the fact that her future is now tied to this man. The man tells the man next to him to go ahead. The other man calls out to the king and asks him to wait. The heroine jumps up and pronounces that she did make it after all. The king asks the woman if she really came on purpose to say goodbye to him. The heroine ponders how it is that she becomes bad in every situation. The heroine declares in anger that she will not allow herself to be controlled. She says that she will not lose her freedom or let another person take over her power. The heroine thinks about whether the king, after her actions, will become a powerful ally or her main enemy. She says emphatically that she will not allow the king to become her enemy. The man says that if he doesn't stop this alliance, his power will be completely destroyed. He wonders if this will become a recurring pattern of his men being immobile. The heroine replies that she was being polite and this is just part of her plan. Ellen ponders that her smile is just a mask, but she can't afford to stop there. She remarks that her opponent doesn't even realize that she's thinking about a strategy right now to come out victorious. The heroine cheerfully reflects that her plan is to have the wedding as a celebration, and that no one will even suspect that she's up to something. The man asks if she thinks it's all a game. The heroine replies with a smile that it's not a game, and that this situation concerns not only her, but the future of many. The man wonders what this has to do with the game. Ellen explains that if she acts as an innocent, no one will suspect her intentions. The heroine states that if her plan fails, she could lose everything, but if it works, it will change the course of events. Lando jokingly adds that he can teach her how not to make mistakes if she accepts his help. The heroine laughs and replies that she would like to know what might happen between them in the future. The man asks with a smile what could be better than a relationship between good friends. Ellen ponders that if their relationship lasts much longer, it could become even stronger. She imagines how their bond will grow every day. The heroine thinks that the lovers will always have more opportunities for walks and romantic moments. They hold hands, and Helene ponders that this symbolizes their shared steps forward. Under the moonlight, they move closer to each other and kiss. Helene declares that there are still many things to do. Her interlocutor asks if this is really true. Lando confesses that it all came as a surprise to him. He sees that things are not as simple as they first seemed. The heroine explains that they can now get busy solving all the problems, since there are no more obstacles. The man interjects with surprise as to what she means. Lando adds that despite all the difficulties, they can still find the right path and find a solution. Helene jokingly remarks that there are still some important steps to take. The heroine says that there are too many things to do ahead and adds that if they don't hurry up, things will go wrong. The man replies with surprise that they are already running late. The heroine exclaims that she can't believe she's in this situation again. Lando reassures her, saying that they can solve all the problems together. Helene wonders if the prince shares her point of view and if they can't work as a team. The heroine yells that they are running late. She then realizes her mistake and wonders how she could have made such a blunder. Fane exclaims "I'm sorry" and ponders in bewilderment as to how such a thing could have been allowed to happen. On the other hand, someone responds to her with a sorry, apologizing for their actions. The heroine firmly says that things won't work that way, that they must move faster and not allow for tardiness. The man comforts the woman, telling her that everything is going according to plan. She, however, looks worried and ponders that things may be getting out of hand. The heroine believes that her actions have had important consequences. A man assures her that everything is under control. She blames someone for not living up to her expectations and wonders why things have gotten so complicated. The heroine says indignantly that she won't tolerate betrayal and wonders if her rival is really trying to set her up. The heroine is surprised that she was hit and wonders how this could have happened, even though she is a woman of status. She accuses her opponent of thinking she is superior to everyone else, but in fact she is unable to control the situation. The heroine says that the laws of the empire do not protect slaves and thus confirms her superiority. Her opponent looks shocked. The heroine reflects that she cannot afford to give up because her success depends on proving her worth. The chained heroine asks with despair why she is being treated this way. The heroine says hatefully that she was sure of the Holy Order's support from the beginning and doesn't understand why things have turned against her. The heroine mockingly remarks that if the support was so weak, she should have chosen a different strategy. She adds that only someone who is capable can help. The heroine angrily demands an explanation of what betrayal means. The heroine states that no matter how hard her opponents try, the outcome is already predetermined and nothing can save her. The heroine reflects on the fact that her opponents are without power, and mocks their pathetic attempts. The heroine says that she is here to lead the world to disaster, and only she knows how to accomplish that goal. The heroine accuses those around her of not understanding her true intentions, and claims that she is the only one with real power. Helene opens her eyes and quietly says that it was only a dream. She wakes up and is surprised to notice that she has had the dream again. The heroine ponders why she is constantly haunted by nightmares and wonders what the cause of them is. Ellen decides that the next time she finds herself in such a situation, she will do everything she can to make her adversaries regret their actions. The heroine sits on the bed and screams that the princess is in danger and cannot be left alone. Cap 8, pushing the maid away, exclaims Hylene's name and demands to be let in. He asks if this is the same princess, to which the maid replies that they are too late. The heroine feels dizzy and wonders how this could happen again. She looks worried and tired. Cap Pate exclaims that he will not allow the woman to marry another man. The heroine asks the man if he is really going to interfere in her affairs. The man expresses surprise and asks if she doesn't realize that they are involved with each other. The heroine recalls events from 15 years ago when they overcame difficulties together. The man reflects that they have become indispensable allies in recent years. The heroine agrees and says that they are stronger now. The heroine, tied to a pole, remembers how everything went wrong and how she was betrayed as she watches the fire rising. The heroine screams that she is willing to fight to the last man, even if it costs her life. The man says that if he can help the princess, he will do his best and asks the woman to trust him. The man assures the woman that if they can stop their enemies, they can change the course of events. The heroine replies hopefully that she is willing to do anything to save her destiny. The man promises that together they will win and deal with all the difficulties that will come their way. The man asks the woman if she is confident in her actions. He notices that she behaves differently than before and wants to understand the reason for her changes. The heroine replies that she is not going to act as he expects and claims that her plans do not coincide with his vision. The man asks in surprise if her marriage is really so important to her that she is willing to sacrifice everything for him. The heroine accuses him of going too far and reminds him that his place is by the princess's side, not hers. The man, grabbing her hand, asks whose side she is on and where her loyalties lie. The heroine declares that she is better able to handle the situation than he is, and her actions will lead to better results. The man is at a loss to ask if she really means what she says. He looks surprised. The heroine irritably replies that she could behave more calmly if he would stop annoying her. The man complains that she speaks too harshly to him, and suggests with despair that she hates him. The heroine replies that they have discussed this so many times that she thinks he himself already realizes that his actions are futile. The man calls out to her as she leaves, and is surprised to realize that her words have made him question his actions. The man asks the woman what she is doing here, to which she responds by looking at him warily. The heroine is surprised by his presence and ponders why he is here and what might have happened. The two maids discuss the woman, noting that she has survived many trials. They are confident that she will one day conquer all. The heroine says with determination that one day she will surely prove her strength and succeed. A man asks Hylin if she is injured, expressing concern for her condition and looking at her carefully. The heroine replies that she is fine, but looks a little embarrassed and tries to hide her true feelings. The man notices that she was seriously injured and, despite her reassurances, he finds it hard to believe that she has fully recovered. The heroine watches the man with slight confusion, not realizing what is happening. The man informs the woman that her condition is much more serious than she thinks and she needs to take more care of her health. The man says with a smile that Hylin is a great general and offers to let go of her hand, underestimating her strength. The man expresses confidence that the people important to Hylin would never let her go so easily. The heroine is perplexed at how men can keep arguing with each other over her. The heroine, angry, asks them to stop arguing, obviously tired of their behavior. The man on the sidelines is watching intently, clearly trying to remain calm and not interfere with their argument. The heroine exclaims that she is not a prize in the contest and cannot be the subject of an argument. The heroine angrily asks the two men to stop fighting over her and leave her alone. The man asks Hylin not to get angry or he will have to look for her again. The heroine responds with an irritated question, implying that he doesn't understand her emotions. The heroine asks the man what is wrong with him. The heroine wonders if the man can't go a minute without causing trouble and wonders if she has affected him so much. The man says that it makes him happy to realize that he has had an impact on the woman's life and emotions. The heroine is confused as she recalls yesterday's events and realizes that her actions led to her not getting any rest at all during the night. The heroine is concerned that her father and the king may intervene in the situation, and fears that it is only a matter of time before they do. The man tells the woman that she must be careful, as the king could decide to interfere in her affairs. The heroine is surprised, wondering if the man really cares that much about her and her relationship with the king. The heroine is adamant that she will not allow anyone to interfere with her plans, especially when it comes to her future goals. The man says that by doing so, she can ensure her participation in the ceremony and no one will object. The heroine recognizes that this is true, and expresses her joy that she might be able to perform a wonderful role. The heroine reflects that despite any circumstances, she needs to always remember her role and be prepared for any challenge. The heroine decides that she will not procrastinate any longer and will try to succeed at all costs. She adds that this will be her moment when she can prove herself to the fullest. The town of Castle Kenwald comes into view. A passerby notices a royal carriage. His companion remembers that the prince left yesterday for a neighboring town, and wonders if he is now heading back to his home. The man addresses the woman with the word sister as if something is bothering him. The man asks the woman what is wrong. The heroine wonders why the man called Lord has gone back. A man asks another man if he dislikes the process. The man speculates about becoming the husband of the master's sister in the future, and that he needs to show more effort to earn it. The man realizes that his actions may be in vain if he does not change his approach, for the night will end without any results. The heroine exclaims with irritation that she is definitely going to show everyone what she can do now, and states this with confidence. The heroine is surprised to hear a sudden noise. A man, turning to another, announces that they are approaching their destination. The man orders the men to hurry up and open the carriage doors. The man irritatedly asks why it took the others so long to get out and what happened. The other man excuses himself, saying that he himself does not understand why there was such confusion, and apologizes. The heroine watches in amazement as the man lets the passengers off and calls for them to join the others. The man turns to the woman, asking if something is wrong. The man tells the woman that she has nothing to worry about and calls her by her title, reassuring her. The heroine calls the master's name and thanks him for his support. The man reassures the woman, saying that he will always be there for her if she needs his help. The man says that such actions will undoubtedly cause resentment and reaction from the master. The heroine tells the child that she recently saw a princess in a carriage, and says that she was beautiful. The mother tries to stop her daughter from saying too much. The man declares that he is under orders from the princess, he is not going to tolerate such antics. The man says that they need to hurry up or the princess will get angry. The heroine, on the other hand, mentions that they have already lost their patience. The two women discuss that this girl is really cruel and conniving. The heroine utters a word of expectation when she notices something. The heroine orders the detainees to be released. The man makes a sound of surprise when he sees the actions of the other. The heroine says that they will finally be forgiven if they do everything right. The man explains that such public executions must stop if they don't want more trouble. The heroine replies that she's here to save them from trouble and punishment. The man asks how she is going to do that if the execution has already begun. The heroine asks for the obstacles to be removed so she can deal with the situation. The girl notes that the woman's voice is very soft and says that a beautiful man is standing in front of her. The heroine asks her daughter if she admires the woman standing in front of them. The heroine explains that as a member of the royal family, she cannot neglect her duties and ignore the plight of ordinary people. The man wonders where this heroine could have come back from. The man ponders that the heroine could not have returned so suddenly and exclaims about it. The heroine says that her situation is completely different now, and her power has increased from the past. The heroine looks at the people around her and asks if they are really so stupid that they don't realize what is happening. The heroine states that last night she purposely directed all of her opponents into a trap to neutralize them. The man informs them that they must return to the imperial palace where other important business awaits them. The man says that there are many people preparing for an upcoming reception, and everyone will be waiting for the princess to appear. The man states that the princess has finally arrived at the event, and everyone should be ready for her appearance. The heroine reflects that her greeting at this reception will be lavish, and she will try to wow everyone gathered. The man reflected that Brielle should show her connection to the royal family today, especially considering her position. The man was surprised and noted that he hadn't realized that the prince was involved in the situation, adding that he may have made a mistake, as he too was concerned about the state of the kingdom. Another man replied that the prince had picked the wrong person to discuss, adding that he sensed tension in the air, which alarmed him. The man suggested that Brielle accept the gift as a sign of respect, to which she replied that it was nice, but she couldn't afford the honor. The man was outraged and said that her behavior was contrary to expectations, to which the heroine calmly replied that she could now see his true face. Heroine added that he would be in a difficult situation if he continued to act this way. The man said that what she was doing was wrong and that her heart would grow colder if she continued to ignore reality. The heroine said with a smile that her methods were different from people's expectations, but she had found a way to regain trust. A man said that real value lies not in a title, but in what one does for one's family and nation, asking if she realizes that. The heroine reminded another character that she had been instructed to keep an eye on the situation and be prepared for the unexpected, adding that despite her young age, the girl already had qualities that would help her cope. The heroine said that if the younger child was not careful enough, she could end up like her sister, completely subservient to other people's interests. The man asked that she call him a friend, adding that he is a friend of the family and knows that she makes the best decisions. The girl expressed admiration, asking if she could call her sister her role model, to which she was allowed to do so. A man tried to object, noting that he was afraid of the repercussions this might cause. Another man stated that the situation had been resolved and that they could hope for support for her actions. The man added that the incident involving Brielle would undoubtedly cause widespread discussion and would be in the public eye. The heroine promised the other man that she would never miss a chance to regain her influence, adding that her resolve would grow stronger with each new step. A man asked another character if his sister would turn into a queen. The heroine agreed with his assumption, noting that this is exactly how it should be. Her attendant happily supported this decision, praising her for her resilience and coping skills. One of the characters urgently reported that the behavior of the heroine and another character was causing everyone great excitement. The heroine, who was observing this, asked for immediate news of further developments. The man was surprised to realize that he had not used his resources for a long time, and expressed bewilderment at how his actions had now led to such noticeable consequences. He also apologized for his mistakes to his allies. Another man added that it was the first time he had witnessed such a sudden change and expressed his satisfaction that the situation was going so well. The character sitting next to him seconded his comment, noting that everything was going as it should. One of the characters reflected that Brielle had probably experienced more hardship than he had realized, and now the sister seemed wiser and more experienced. The man agreed with his conclusions, adding that even he was having trouble keeping things under control. The man told the woman that he couldn't be sure how he felt about the prince, but was confident that every interaction they had brought them closer to solving the problem. The heroine remarked that she was having a hard time figuring out what was going on, but expressed hope that things would get better soon. The other man stated that he couldn't leave things to chance and that their every move would be closely monitored. He asked the other character to be careful not to make mistakes at important moments. The heroine looked at the man and called him by name, informing him that this was not the time for games. The heroine asks the man if he agrees with her assumptions, stating that her mission and her actions are closely tied to the goal of protecting another. The man admits that this is indeed true and that his own intentions overlap with her desires. The heroine reflects on the fact that her role is still incomplete and that, despite her outward calm, she needs to complete the work she has begun. She also emphasizes that she still has important unfinished tasks. The character Vivian wonders if it is possible for her to forgive the woman with whom she had a conflict. Another character asks her suspiciously how long she intends to stay like this. A man wonders if he should stay near the woman who looks troubled, but the woman replies that the decision is up to him. The heroine says that they have both been sent out of town on an important errand, pondering whether it was the right decision of fate. She reflects on how their roles are intertwined in what is happening. The character expresses surprise that the two characters are so close and suggests that perhaps they had a similar connection in a past life. He recalls their past actions and wonders if they were predetermined. The man asks the woman what exactly she means by alluding to her past and her decisions. He tries to understand her motives and her future actions. The heroine quietly admits that she has an important choice to make and expresses doubts that her journey is complete. She ponders whether she can make a decision that will change her life forever. A man sitting on the ground is holding something in his hands. He tells the girl to run away quickly because people are approaching. The man looks up and sees the girl on the windowsill. He says her name and wonders what she is doing there. The girl sitting on the windowsill looks at the man and notices that he has lost a lot of blood. The man and the girl sit together. The girl asks him if he remembers their mom saying that she would always protect them even if they got sick or died. The man replies that she will not die. The man thanks the girl for caring. The girl says that she will sit by his side and wait for the bad people to leave, after which they can run away. The man closes his eyes and reflects that he has met the real person he was looking for. The girl suggests that he stay put while she makes sure everything around them is safe and they can leave safely. The man says that he met someone important last year. The heroine is surprised and asks if the man has returned. She is concerned that his appearance might cause more problems. The heroine ponders the situation and wonders what will happen next and how she should handle the situation. The heroine ponders that the man she has been searching for years may have finally found her in this life. The man in red says that he has once again met the man he was once involved with. The heroine looks at the man and wonders what he plans next, for his return may bring many difficulties. The man thinks that his main goal now is to find a way to solve all the problems associated with the return of that man. The man ends his thoughts by saying that he has to meet with that man to deal with the past and present. The heroine asks the man why he just showed up now and what happened to the body. The heroine laughs, saying that they couldn't even protect her and that she is always waiting for him. The man asks the woman not to worry, assuring her that everything is fine and no one will hurt her. The heroine is puzzled, thinking about why she is being forced to do something unpleasant. The man reassures the woman, telling her that she has nothing to worry about and he will handle all the problems. The heroine mockingly asks the man if she was really supposed to be guarding, why can't she do it? A man tells a woman that she needs to stop blaming herself and focus on the current situation. The man reminds the woman of her brother who was injured in the battle and says that this cannot be ignored. The heroine replies that her brother just didn't realize the true threat, but now he will be on their side. The heroine, angry, says that she witnessed the battle and saw everything with her own eyes. The heroine asked herself not to act stupid seeing the man. The man thought that this world could change his mind, though it didn't. The heroine told the man that she didn't expect this and couldn't believe it. The man reasoned that in this position, he needed to use all his strength so he wouldn't lose. The heroine explained that her behavior was because she wanted to help the men. The heroine was nervous, thinking that she was wrong in her actions. The heroine informed the man that keeping the peace in the kingdom was important to her. The man explained that everything that was happening had to do with the kingdom's failure to govern. The heroine recalled her past when she was deemed incapable of handling her duties. The man agreed that her efforts deserved respect and urged her not to give up. The heroine admired the man, calling him special to her. The man explained that heroine was a symbol of strength and defense of the kingdom. Heroine confessed that her only purpose was to serve the man. The man said with a smile that he had always known that heroine would be his support. Heroine said that she needed to act on her own and not rely on others. She said she always knew this moment would come and didn't want to be weak. The man noted that it was a time of change, and they had to be prepared for difficulties. The heroine assured him that she could handle it, because she had no other choice. The man remarked that they still hadn't fully realized how big the challenges ahead of them were. The heroine added that she would not feel sorry for herself and was ready to act decisively. The man expressed hope that they would be able to go through all the challenges together. The heroine affirmed that they should be together in this endeavor and promised not to fail. The man said that they were close to their goal, but the most important thing was yet to come. The heroine remarked that the closer they got to the goal, the stronger their enemies became. The man replied that they were ready to fight to the end, despite all the difficulties. The heroine said that time is on their side and they should use it wisely. The man with a cold stare said confidently that heroine was made to serve man. He believed that everything in this world should be subject to force, and by obeying this law, man could achieve greatness. Heroine looked at him with sadness, but at the same time with determination, trying to understand his cruel logic, but in her heart she could not accept such a view of the world. The heroine asked the man with quiet defiance if he really believed that women are only an accessory of men. She added that only weak men fear the power of women when they rise up against injustice. The man scrutinized her face, and for a moment there was a shadow of doubt in his eyes. The man stood too close to the woman without taking his gaze away, but she did not back away. She knew she was only a game in his eyes, but the fire of independence burned within her. She pronounced that no one could ever force her to kneel. It was a statement that hid pain, but also infinite determination. In another part of the castle, the knights were preparing for another battle, discussing the upcoming battle. They knew that their mistress had an unwavering will, and that inspired respect. But there was also a shadow of fear in their hearts, for the world was changing, and battles were not always won by the power of the sword. The heroine, realizing the gravity of the situation, recognized that she and the man were originally equals, despite his attempts to prove otherwise. She said that their world had to change, and it was no longer a matter of force or power, but of justice and equality. The man finally realized that his arguments could not shake the woman's certainty. He said that it was not only his opinion, but that of the people behind the throne. He tried to remind her of the old traditions, but the heroine was no longer listening. The heroine, with a slight smile on her lips, promised that she would do her best to change this world. She knew there were many obstacles ahead, but her heart was filled with light that led her forward. The man looked at the woman and realized that all his plans were falling apart. He stood in front of a castle that no longer seemed as solid as it once had. The heroine was leaving his world, but he did not yet know that this was her greatest victory. The heroine walked through the garden where the sunlight played and reflected that each victory she had won was a step towards a new freedom. She was no longer afraid of the dark secrets hidden in the corridors of the castle. There were new challenges ahead of her, but she was ready. She stopped, sensing a man approaching nearby. He looked like he realized something too late. He apologized to her, trying to smooth over old grudges, but the heroine no longer needed his forgiveness. She was strong, and her path led onward, toward the light. The man finally recognized that he was going to have to re-evaluate his views of the world. He realized that he had lost not only his woman, but also the opportunity to live in a world ruled by love and understanding. Now he was just a shadow of what he once wanted to be. The heroine, feeling his parting glance, sadly, but without regret, continued on her way. She knew that the future was now in her hands, and nothing could stop her. The man emphasized with a serious look that women had long been born to fulfill their role in a male-dominated society. It was part of their destiny, and he saw nothing wrong with that. His confidence seemed unshakable and his words sounded like unshakable truth. The heroine looked at him coldly and with disbelief, as if his words didn't reach her heart. She wasn't going to put up with this view of her role in life. Her eyes were determined to prove otherwise. She approached the man with confidence, saying coldly that the likes of him would never be able to break her spirit. She knew that behind her back was a power he could not suppress, and she was ready to fight to the end. At that moment, the man was surrounded by men armed for defense. He stood stone-faced, showing his willingness to follow his ideals to the end. But heroine knew that despite his strength, her spirit and strength of conviction were stronger than any weapon. The heroine, with a nonchalant look, informed him that she thought his opinion was wrong and short-sighted. To her, love and respect were the foundations on which any union was built. And she saw nothing in his gaze that could convince her otherwise. The man tried to justify himself by saying he had his reasons. He knew his words might seem harsh, but he believed his approach was the only right one. However, his confidence began to waver when he realized that the heroine in front of him wasn't just listening to him. The heroine, with a mixed expression on her face, said that she would try her best to change his point of view. There was a determination in her voice that left no doubt that she would fight to the end. The man stood beside her, pondering how her words might change their future actions. He realized that her strength and confidence could be a problem, but he couldn't give up his stance. He decided to watch her next moves. The heroine stepped back, immersed in her thoughts, wondering how their future path would pan out. She knew that the world around them would change, and only strength and determination would allow her to face the challenges ahead. The young man standing next to her remembered the past when their views on life had diverged. He realized that she had a difficult decision to make and hoped that she would be able to find a way out of the situation. However, his doubts still did not leave him. The heroine replied in a cold voice that she cared little about what others thought of her role. She was ready to fight and knew she could protect her rights and interests. Her confidence only grew stronger with each word. The man standing in front of her pondered her words. He realized that their views were not the same, and this created a barrier between them. But he still hoped that they could find common ground. The heroine, without hiding her determination, said that she wasn't going to change for him or anyone else. Her path was her choice, and no one could make her turn from it. The man tried to say that he still wanted to maintain a relationship with her, but his voice sounded unsure. He didn't know how to deal with her intransigence and what would happen next. The heroine looked at him coldly, realizing that their conversation hadn't changed anything. She realized that the future of their relationship now depended solely on her, and she was ready to move forward without looking back. The man and the heroine were walking through the garden. He mentioned that the place was crowded and could be a problem, but assured her that they would find a secluded spot. She smiled, saying that she liked the place, feeling warm and calm around him. Left alone with her thoughts, the heroine felt irritation, caused not only by the place, but also by the fact that the man had a knack for driving her crazy with his presence. She took a deep breath, trying to calm her heart. The heroine showed the man a place that was particularly dear to her. Her gaze reflected a deep affection for this secluded corner where she found peace while reminiscing about old times. The man mentioned his loneliness, as if he didn't realize that she was beside him now, the one who filled his emptiness. With a slight smile he said that from now on they would walk through life together, and her heart trembled at his words. The man asked if she was lonely in this place, knowing her love of solitude. The heroine laughed, trying to guffaw, but her eyes shone with joy at the time spent with him. The boat began to move and they laughed, savoring the moment. The heroine asked in surprise why he was pushing her into the water, but her eyes glowed with joy and embarrassment at his jokes. The man suggested she trust him completely, hinting that their bond was stronger than any doubt. The heroine, trying to hide her excitement, replied confidently that she wasn't afraid, but her face betrayed a slight worry. The man with a sly smile stepped closer, making her suspect he was up to something unexpected. She half-jokingly asked what he was going to do, feeling her heart beat faster. The heroine was startled when the boat started moving faster than she wanted it to. She flailed her arms desperately, realizing that she couldn't swim. The man, laughing, assured her that everything would be all right, his confidence reassuring her. After the boat slowed down, the man said she could trust him with her safety. He wanted to show her that she could always rely on him. The heroine tried to hide her excitement, assuring him that she wasn't afraid. Her voice trembled, however, and the man noticed this and only grinned, knowing how much she was worried. He jokingly leaned toward her again, and she, sensing that he would not let her go without another joke, jokingly resented the fact that the boat was about to capsize. The man, looking tenderly at the woman, said that her lips reminded him of clear water, just as clear and refreshing. He promised that she would definitely be in the water tonight, and his gaze was full of playful confidence. She answered him with a slight hesitation, wondering if she really liked being around him, despite all his strange jokes. The man, seeing her confusion, added that he had no malicious intent, but would very much like to see her genuine joy. He confessed that his strength for her was so great that he could not resist the temptation to test her limits. The heroine smiled back at him, saying that today had already brought her much joy. The boat rocked slightly and the man jokingly warned her to be careful. The heroine tried to keep her balance, and sincere concern flashed in her eyes. He, on the other hand, laughed at her attempts, but you could hear the tenderness in his laughter. The man put his arm around her and noticed that her hands were cold, as if she had been outdoors for a long time. The heroine, however, replied that she had not noticed how the time had passed, immersed in his company and conversation. When the boat rocked again, the man advised her to be more careful. The heroine was frightened, thinking she was about to find herself in the water. Her fear mixed with annoyance when she said his jokes had scared her enough already. The man, with a smile, reminded her of the previous incident when she had almost fallen in, and remarked that her caution always made her more attractive in his eyes. The heroine, realizing he was hinting at her weakness again, frowned. Against the backdrop of the night, the man spoke of the past. He recalled how she had once been in a similar situation in a past life, and how it had all ended in disaster. The heroine listened quietly to his words, realizing that their bond was deeper than she could have imagined. The man continued his musings, saying that because of past mistakes, they had lost each other. Now he wanted to do everything he could to prevent that from happening again. The heroine, feeling a growing sense of responsibility, reflected on his words. She realized that in this life it was her destiny to right the wrongs of the past. Her decisions now affected not only her fate, but the fate of their shared future. With quiet determination, she promised not to repeat old mistakes again. The man sighed, realizing that there were times in their past when they had missed the chance to be together. He said that only a man who could admit his weaknesses could truly change. Heroine felt that now they had that chance. The heroine confidently stated that she would not give up her destiny in this life. Her look was full of determination, she would no longer let fate keep them apart. Her confidence inspired the man and he nodded in agreement. The man supported her determination and added that she could go where her heart led her. He promised to be there for her when she decided to put her plans into action. Heroine looked at him gratefully, knowing that their bond was now unthreatened. The heroine said she wanted to visit the people's lands, to see how ordinary people lived. The man said he thought the people's lives were more peaceful, but it turned out that there was constant tension in the place. The heroine standing next to him nodded, feeling this tension on her own, and their gazes crossed as if they understood each other without words. The heroine thought of the fear read in these men's eyes, and she couldn't ignore it. Her feelings grew stronger and stronger. She felt responsible for what was happening and tried to think of how to help these people. The man looked at the people around him and suggested to the woman that they should work together to solve these problems and restore order. He was ready to act, knowing that only together could they do something meaningful for the people. The heroine responded in agreement, their unity only strengthened. The man remarked with a slight smile that they seemed rather unusual for these places, and their presence could be perceived differently. The heroine, in turn, said that was fine, as they now had a great deal of responsibility in their hands. The heroine, sensing the presence of something strange around her, looked around warily and asked what was going on. She felt that something was about to happen and her intuition told her to be careful. The unknown man looked at them in surprise, suspecting they might be strangers. His face expressed confusion, he clearly hadn't expected to meet such unusual guests here. The heroine turned to the man, waiting for his reaction. The man with a smile suggested to the woman not to worry and assured her that they could handle any situation. He asked her to follow him and she accepted his offer with slight surprise. There was a look of trust in her eyes. The heroine felt confused when the man again offered her to trust him. She didn't understand why the offer sounded so insistent, but despite her inner doubts, she felt the urge to go along with it. The heroine asked the man why he kept insisting that she trust him. The man replied that things here are not as they seem at first glance, and only together will they be able to get through this. The man ordered his companions to back off and let them deal with the situation on their own. He felt that their presence here could provoke unnecessary conflict and he wanted to avoid that. A man in the distance watched them, lurking in the shadows. His eyes gave away a slight anxiety, he didn't know what to do in this situation, but he realized that something important was unfolding in front of him. The man and the heroine continued to discuss how they should proceed. They both realized that they needed to proceed carefully so as not to provoke conflict. The man said he was ready to take responsibility for what was happening, and the heroine gratefully accepted his words, feeling that together they could handle it. The young man asked what had happened and if something terrible had happened. He looked alarmed. The boy rushed to his brother screaming at him not to leave and hugged him tightly to his leg, trying to hold him back. His brother knelt down and comforted the boy, assuring him that nothing bad would happen and they would work things out together. The silhouette of a woman suddenly appeared, her voice sounding stern, ordering her brother to let go. The scene lit up with a bright light, and the image of his sister appeared before his brother's eyes, with someone by his side who was causing anxiety and fear. The beautiful heroine appeared before his eyes, surrounded by light and glowing butterflies, her gaze was streaked with sadness and it was as if she was calling out to him for help. The young man looked at the woman in front of him, her face was full of calmness and inner strength. He slowly reached out his hand towards her, as if hoping for something out of reach. The man standing next to the woman asked with surprise if he knew the young man. The character exclaimed, showing surprise, his gaze full of tension. The man and woman discussed the person they had seen. The character admitted that she was not familiar with him, but had seen him before. The young man appeared in front of the fire, holding a weapon. The heroine looked at him with a determined expression, ready to meet danger. In the flames, the man pondered the battle ahead, deciding how he should proceed. The heroine remained focused. The young man thought back to his past life, pondering how things had changed. The heroine watched him with interest. The man and heroine met gazes, tension hung in the air. The man waited for a response, while the heroine remained calm. The man gently touched the woman's face, saying that he couldn't see any other men around her. She smiled slightly. The heroine tried to hide her emotions, but her eyes gave away her deeply hidden feelings. The man pointed out that she wasn't crying because she was weak. The man confidently stated that his actions would bring about change, his face full of determination. The heroine listened attentively, slightly embarrassed. The heroine pondered his words, wondering if he was trying to change something with her help. Her gaze was thoughtful. The man asked a question about what was happening to the residents. The heroine stood nearby, ready for an answer. Her interlocutor was confused. The young man admitted that he didn't know how to help. His face expressed confusion, but he was determined to make sense of the situation. The young man talked about how he had to protect his brother despite the possible consequences. He looked determined. The heroine looked reproachfully at the man, noticing that he was clearly feeling guilty. The man continued to cling to his brother, pulling him close to him. The man and the heroine were discussing important issues concerning people and their fate. There was a sense of tension in their dialogue, and each was sure that they were right. The man thought about his plans, his thoughts were full of thoughts about how to help people. The heroine listened to him attentively, trying to understand what she should do next. The heroine was reflecting on her past life, remembering difficult moments. Her face reflected deep feelings of regret and loss. She felt she had only one chance and needed to take it. Her determination grew with each passing second. Thinking back on her past life, the heroine realized how difficult everything had been and that she needed to act differently in this life. She resolved not to repeat her previous mistakes. The heroine told herself that she should not give up despite all the trials. She decided to go all the way to the end, even if it was hard. A man exclaimed, calling his brother by name, noticing something important. The brother was startled, his face full of fear. The boy was telling his older brother that he had to be more careful, or this body wouldn't be able to stand. The brother was concerned about his condition. The heroine said firmly that she would not leave until she dealt with the problem. Her voice was full of confidence and firmness. She told the man that he should think before he interfered. Her look was full of confidence, she believed in her own strength. The heroine realized that her actions had serious consequences. Her face expressed concern, but she wasn't going to stop. The heroine said she was willing to help people despite the risks. The man was impressed by her determination. The man exclaimed with surprise that the situation called for action. His eyes expressed surprise and he was ready to support the woman. The man pondered how they could intervene in what was happening. His face was full of determination, he wanted to find a solution. This was a wonderful story about Princess Ellen, who traveled back in time to the day her younger brother the Crown Prince brought the main character to the palace. In her previous life, she was a benefactor to her brother, but he ruthlessly killed her. Thanks to a second chance, she will change her fate. The protagonist's kind sister became a tyrant? Serves you right. Is the Pope trying to get in my way? That's a problem. Are you looking forward to the two-part? If so, please let me know by leaving a comment or reacting to this manhwa. Your support means a lot to me, and I truly appreciate your kind wishes. I'd like to take this opportunity to address you, my dear viewers, once again and express my gratitude for your interest and support. Your feedback and suggestions play a vital role in helping me understand your preferences and expectations better. Moreover, I want to extend a warm welcome to all of you and assure you that I will continue working on the sequel if that's what you desire. If you want to learn more about the upcoming sequel or have specific topics or questions you'd like me to cover, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Your active engagement, such as liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel, will serve as an important signal for me, indicating that my work is valued and motivating me to keep going. I wish you a fantastic day and a wonderful mood. Don't forget to stay updated and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any intriguing content. Thank you for your time and trust. The Summary Manhwa channel is here with you. Goodbye.